So after changing out some pedals and getting some new pedals in, I kind of settled on this sort of board configuration. And here is the worst part that you probably go through, which is ripping everything apart completely. And the pedal board had been in a state of change over the course of the past years. We've been recording REP. That's all done now. Changed out a few pedals, got a few in, which I'll come on to later. And this is the bit where all that time and effort you have put in making the board gets ripped apart in literally a minute or two, as you can just rip everything off, or just about rip everything off. Velcro is pretty tough. Taking out all the power adapters and obviously the cables that are holding it together. And there's the board after, pretty messy, loads of Velcro put on randomly over the past probably 2 to 3 years, and all that Velcro was taken off later. And these are the pedals that I'm going to be putting on my board that I've settled on for the next year or so, or maybe longer, you never know. And just checking out the power adapter situation underneath, because again our cables kind of flying around everywhere, and it's, as you can see, really messy, so that all needs untangling, and eventually that'll be made really nice and neat and cable tied and all kept in one place. You just spend a while reflecting with all your pedals in a pile, and thinking about how you're going to piece it all back together, which you know is going to take a while, but it will be worth it at the end. And I think here's just when I'm kind of working through my configuration. I've got a volume pedal, and this wasn't the final configuration I went with in the end, as you'll see later, but I've got a mini volume and a mini expression pedal now as well, which I bought to go with the Otto bit by Meris, which I just got a few weeks ago. And I guess this is the bit where you're trying to make everything look aesthetically pleasing whilst also working out what audio pedals need to be running in, and if it's all going to fit on the board in the way that you want. Yeah. So top right, got a new ABY pedal by Old Blood Noise, and that is so that I can run my guitar through my board, but also another instrument, maybe a vocal or a some sort of key synth. I recently got some of these larger dials as well, which were a really good price, and will just help for switching through my settings and my pedals whilst playing. Used a stack load of some tape that I bought off Amazon, pretty cheap. I'll put some links in the description below. So once all your pedals are attached to your board and you've settled on an order, and you spent ages getting the cabling in place, which I'd done at this stage, which is fun in itself, and thankfully I'd custom made a lot of cabling previously in my previous pedal board configuration, so that I knew pretty much the cabling was good to go and would fit. You then come to powering up all your pedals, and again I've got just the right amount of adapters for my 2 pedal trains, which is probably more luck than design, if being honest. And you just spend an age trying to fit through your cabling so that it still looks smart, doesn't look too much of a mess. So yeah, it does involve kind of sticking your arm under things and trying to fit your cabling ends through really tiny little gaps, as I think you'll see now, and doing it all whilst obviously making sure nothing's being stretched, but also that there's no cabling hanging around and lying around too much, which is too obvious. And again, there's different schools of thought on that. I prefer my pedal board to look as clean as possible without being totally OCD about it. But I like things being in place, and I like my cabling being as hidden as possible with the cabling that I've got. But that does mean sometimes you're having to force cabling through tiny little holes, and pull out a pedal and then stick your cable through, and then just mess around with it really until it all fits. So you can see that's what I'm doing here, constantly lifting my pedal board up, finding the right power adapter underneath my pedal board, and then working out where that needs to go. So here's a good example here of crush your fingers, basically. So yeah, it's just this constant jigsaw really that you're trying to piece together. And then you get to stage where you turn your power on, and you pray to God that lights come on your board, and that everything is working. Bought a load of cable ties, again dead cheap from Amazon, I think. And the next bit is just to flip the board and tie all your cabling up underneath, keep it all nice and neat. And then you get to the final stage, which is where you're essentially plugging in, and you're gonna turn your volume up and hope that it all works.